Much like my hair in lockdown, this film is a complete mess, far too long, with no discernible style, and well, it's a bit shit. So let's talk about it. The film, that is. Not my hair. I actually quite like my hair.
The Film Fella.
So I've been having a good day this past Saturday. My football team, Leeds United, did the unthinkable that anyone outside of this city wouldn't have thought possible by smashing another city and league leaders 2-1 with just 10 men. Stuart Dallas, if you ever see this, I love you. I then pocketed some winnings on the Grand National Horse Race, the sun was shining and all was good in the world. Then my other half insisted we watch Thunderforce. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure where to begin with this one. I'd been aware of its impending release for a while and it just sort of screamed to me, I'm going to be shit, don't watch me. But, you know, love and relationships and all that, so I kind of had to. So yeah, here we are, back again, reviewing stuff on the internet. This is the hill that I chose to die on. Leave a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. It might be the only thing that makes this loss of time watching this shower of shite worthwhile. Please. So the plot, or what can be best described as one, centres around a world where some form of radioactivity creates super villains. Yup, they got you with that big brain curveball there, didn't they? For some reason, this radioactivity only affects sociopaths, and as a result, the world is terrorised by the rather on-the-nose named miscreants. I mean, you wouldn't know it, considering the film literally only gives you about 3, likely due to budgeting for special effects, but let's suspend our disbelief and stick with it. In this groundbreaking bit of world building, we get Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer, who play 2 childhood best friends. One is the rebellious, outspoken character trope, guess who? And the other, a nerdy, school is everything type with a good old bit of tragedy chucked in for good measure. They have a cliche falling out before reconciling many years later as adults. This coming together, of course, times perfectly with Spencer's character eventually creating quite possibly the world's worst set of super soldier serums to counter the miscreants. And also for some reason to be tested directly on herself. Definitely don't do that. Why would you test it on yourself? Why not have clinical trials first? You know, don't just take it yourself. Not to mention the fact that she's got no form of training to take on the miscreants that she's developed them for, amongst other things, which, you know, I'm not going to point out because I'm a good guy, even though the title of this film itself is clearly pointing towards what I'm avoiding saying here with the haha, they're morbidly obese superheroes, let's laugh at the idea of it being called Thunderforce. Anywho, as you might have guessed, one thing leads to another, and McCartney's goofy, failing upwards character ends up messing this up and receiving the super strength serum, leaving Spencer's character to take the invisibility pill that she's created because, yeah, invisibility. The originality and creativity of super strength and invisibility weren't lost on me either. They then proceed to have the worst and least funny elongated training montage I've ever seen before being pushed towards the most blatantly obvious villains for a very predictable finale. The film is full of all the stuff that you've probably come to expect, with forced ad-lib style comedy bits which go on for far too long, and some really weird, grotesque visual gags, which one in particular in this instance genuinely made my stomach turn. It's just bloody awful, and plenty of, you know, toilet humour for good measure, which, you know, none of it really seems to land. To add insult to injury, the soundtrack and the audio mixing are truly awful. Now, I might be one to talk if you've watched any of my previous videos, but it's truly terrible. What hurts me even more as an avid sort of like, you know, metalhead is the continuous use of metal-like tracks that just haven't been mixed properly and are super jarring for the sequences that they've been forced for. You know, the placement has been used to try and marry up with McCartney's character having this kind of weird, edgy upbringing, but it just didn't work for me. And, you know, the actual lack of original tracks instead of, you know, using all these weird instrumentals just showed that there's clearly no budget at play here. Jason Bateman is in this film, and it may be the only thing that he's got going for it. More so by how he goes about his role in this film rather than anything else. He's a man clearly acting like he's in a film he can't be asked to actually be in, and it really, really does show. In fact, it comes off as if he's so half-assed in this film that it's hard to tell if he's, you know, his usual nonchalant comedy acting style, or if he's genuinely wishing that he hadn't agreed to do the movie in the first place. He's either really phoning it in on purpose for the role, or it's genuine because he's just picking up an easy paycheck. Either way, he's the only thing that's particularly bearable in this film, even if he's not really trying. His character and the origin story that they made for him are about the only things that made me, you know, like squeeze a chuckle out of me in this entire film. Netflix do seem to truly be the platform for, if you make it, we'll release it no matter what. And somehow certain groups of people seem to keep lapping this crap up. This is currently trending in the UK top 10, and if the past year wasn't evidence already, folks, we are well and truly doomed. Now then, if you're still here, cheers for sticking around. If you enjoyed that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and carefully tap that bell notification to be notified when new videos are being released. Also, cheekily tickle that like button if you haven't already, it really helps out. If for some reason you too also checked out Thunderforce, and honestly I have no idea why you would, what did you make of it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be back very soon with something else probably, but until next time, have a great day and see you in a bit. Now go get a haircut.